Hello and welcome. It has been a while, and the green screen is a little different than it was before, but hopefully that doesn't cause too many difficulties. Welcome back, everybody. Episode 41 of the Magnus Protocol, Internal Investigation. Magnus is back. We have stuff to talk about. I'm a little late on this episode, but hopefully they'll roll out on time in the future. I have to also record the next one after this, but I'll probably do that when I get back from work tomorrow. Anyway, our case number is CAT 1RB 5535 1706 1995 100 62024. Transmutation, organs, experimentation, metal. This is a really fun one. I was really stoked getting back into Magnus. Very excited. I had not listened to the episode when it came out because I was waiting until I had the time to record it. It's time, right? And so I have just finished listening to it, doing my research, digging up all the notes and trying to find everything I could. And I'm ready to talk about it. So let's get into it. Celia is a little upset that she's doing all of the caseload by herself, but Gwen has her, doing it, right? And I feel like that's probably because she knows that the caseload is important. She doesn't know everything about why, but she knows it has to get done, right? And so that's what she's got to do. And also, what else are they supposed to do with not knowing what's going on? Alice is gone. Sam's gone. Though Alice and Sam are gone in very different ways. Lena's gone. Colin's gone-ish. And so they're doing their best, but they have not heard from Alice yet, right? Then we get our case, which is by far the most interesting part of this, but there's some really interesting stuff at the end as well. But this one's weird at first, because you go, oh, well, yeah, it's alchemy, right? Yeah, it's alchemy. But the big thing for me with this is it confirms some things for us, right? So it's a witness statement of Dr. Chloe to the Greater Manchester Police. There is a body of a woman that has been strangled. Marconi Alchemics is involved, and that's a name I wrote down because that's going to be very important. But the big reveal here is that diagrams and broken flasks everywhere. This woman was doing alchemy of some kind, or maybe she was the one alchemy was being done to. Get to that in a minute. I have some thoughts. I'm not centered anymore because I'm so excited. But the body is covered in sodium chloride. The skull is coated in a foul-smelling yellow residue, likely sulfur. And then all of the organs that are tied to certain things, specifically that are tied to the 7 planetary metals, are replaced with the metal that represents them. So we have the skull. Inside the skull is the brain, which has been replaced with a silver facsimile of a brain representing the moon. We have the heart of gold, as it were, right? And if you go, well, when did you bring this stuff up? Why are you talking about it like you brought it up before? It's in the alchemy video. I'll link that in the description. You can go back and check that out. I firmly recommend, since this season is starting with heavy into the alchemy, if you have not watched that video, you should probably go watch that video. It's probably going to be important. But I'm also just now realizing, because I decided to wear this flower shirt that I've been wearing all day and not to go change, that the captions are going to have to be a different color because the white is going to get lost in these flowers. I'll get back into the swing of this. I'm rusty, as it were, but I'm not Rusty Quill. So, brain, silver, gold, heart, tin, liver, copper kidneys, a lead spleen, gallbladder of iron, right? All these things, very important because they're assigned to the 7 planetary metals. Now, a couple things that are kind of interesting there. The heart replaced by gold, but it still had how did he word it? The arterial. I want to make sure I get this right, and I did not put this in my notes for some reason. I'm going to claim it's because I'm rusty. The heart. Yeah, pulmonary vessels. Pulmonary vessels were directly attached without scarring, so it was still working, right? But interesting. And specifically here, there's a couple things this could be. The fact that there is mercury in the lungs. I feel like it's obvious this person did not succeed in all that they were trying to do, right? Especially the problems with the metallic discoloration in their mouth and in their chest, the problems with the other organs struggling with the weight of the metal. It's clear it wasn't perfect, right? But this is most likely a transmutation of body. A couple other things it could be. The self-inflicted phlebotomy means that this person was feeling pain, most likely, and was trying to subvert that, right? But also, the organs were heavy, right? So it's not just, hey, the brain has been encased in a layer of silver. This is a silver brain. If it's just transmutation of body, and they were trying to become perfect or to become like the Anima Mundi or to connect with the Anima Mundi or something like that, then what about the rest of the body, right? You can't just have, theoretically, the organs. And I'm jumping all over the place because I have so many ideas and I'm trying to focus them, and also because it's very late at night when I'm recording this. But effectively, if the goal was transmutation of body, transmutation of self, the next step is transmutation of soul, right? But something's gone wrong because, as we find out, the one who kills them has the same identity. So was this a homunculus by attempting to gain transmutation of soul by using either homunculus or making a copy, a clone, as it were, to try and understand? Was it the two halves of the brain, and one body would be transmuted and the other would not? Was it a test, an experiment to see if you could make a double, and the double was made with the brain of silver and the heart of gold, and, go down the list? Or, this is my prevailing theory, is it that this person was doing a few different alchemical experiments, right? It wasn't just one thing they were trying. They were transmuting self, but either making a homunculus, making a clone, two sides of the brain, new you, and maybe it's just new you using metals instead. But I guess we should bring up at this point, I didn't bring it up in the alchemy video, and it was foolish of me not to, and I should have. If I ever do a sequel to that, we'll bring it up in there. But there is a school of alchemy today, and I say school very loosely, right? Not that there aren't active schools of alchemy today, but this one is very loose, that believes that by curing metal poisoning in the body, that we can find, and I'm going to explain this very poorly, I'm sure, but that we can find the panacea, right? The cure for all illnesses by finding the right alignment of metals in our body. And so this could be an aspect of that, right? Of trying to align everything correctly and get the body in tune with the metals as compared to attuned with the universe. I really don't think that's what this is. I think this is transmutation of body becoming one with the higher planes of reality, right? Aligning your body with the universe in the form of, if all of your organs are in line. Because remember, in alchemical astrology and in some versions of astrology, the different planets have, including the sun and the moon, which aren't planets, but the different planets have authority and dominion over those metals, right? And so by replacing your heart with gold, you would be giving the sun control over your heart and the moon control over your brain, right? Obviously, that's not something we could just do, so how that would turn out, we don't know, but it seemed to be working out pretty well for this person before their doppelganger. Oh, I didn't even think about how it could be a doppelganger. That wording was just to talk about the clone. Oh, it could have been the doppelganger came. Oh, I didn't even think about that. This person was using alchemy to try and theoretically align themselves with the universe when another version of them from another reality showed up. Oh, that's just as possible. So it could be a homunculus. It could be a new you. It could be another dimension. I didn't even. Oh, I'm blown away. See, that's normally the kind of thing that I would have already put in my notes because I would have thought of because I would have been better. That's what I'm saying. I'm rusty, but I don't think it's a doppelganger. I think it is probably the homunculus or the new you, right? Because it really feels like if you go to the level of self surgery. And they said there was no sign of surgery, right? So it's not surgery per se, it's self-experimentation of transmuting your own organs to these different metals. It feels to me like you're trying to attain something, right? You're trying to get somewhere. And ultimately, I feel like it is probably the Anima Mundi, right? To the heart, the soul of the universe, right? Let me make sure I have the right phrasing here. The world soul, yeah. Trying to align yourself with the planets to either make the prima materia or to be able to understand the secrets of the universe, right? And when I say like Anima Mundi, I don't just mean the idea of they wanted to talk to the universe. I mean the idea of like they might have wanted to understand the universe. The Anima Mundi is a big concept. It's not just one thing. But it's fascinating. And on one hand, I go, okay, well, yeah, it's alchemy. We knew alchemy was in this. But like I mentioned earlier, it is confirmation that we're on the right track to figuring out what is going on. I don't believe this person was just trying to make a philosopher's stone, right? That is the end goal of a lot of alchemy, and that could be what they were doing. They could have been experimenting on themselves to purify the metals in their body to be able to use them as a philosopher's stone, right? Maybe they believed you needed to have all 7, and you needed to have all 7 of your organs replaced with them. Obviously, I know there's more organs. I'm talking about the organs that are assigned to the planetary metals. But I feel like it's more than that. I feel like this was attempting to go to that higher plane, right? That Hermeticism and Kabbalah bring up more often of moving to that higher plane of reality where now you can understand more than the common man could, right? I could be way off base, but it feels to me like transmutation of body followed by transmutation of soul to be able to understand the secrets of the world. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking way too much into it, and this person just wanted to use the metals in their body to make a Philosopher's Stone. Maybe this person was just a Mistborn fan. But I feel like this is, especially with like the Marconi's Alchemics thing, I feel like this is somebody that was very effective at what they were doing, but wasn't either well-trained or well-studied, right? They didn't have the materials to be able to learn the mistakes that they would make. And I feel like Marconi's is going to wind up being this Acme almost style of, you know, we see these things around and oh, it's a Marconi Alchemics box. Okay, well, they're going to have some cheap version of alchemy materials, or they're going to have some dangerous version of alchemy materials, right? Almost like I know I referenced Acme earlier, but like the what are they called? Dr. Wondertainment stuff in the SCP universe, or anything like that. Maybe some of the artifacts that Salesa was selling in archives, right? Editor tray here, and I think this is the first time we have confirmed that the 3 primes are in one spot, like in a case, because we have sulfur in the scalp, we have salt on the body, and we have mercury in the lungs. And I didn't bring that up in the video when I was recording it earlier, but that feels like it's very important, and I just wanted to mention it. So the salt all over the body definitely is more important than I gave credence to in my theorizing. They had the 3 primes, they had the 7 planetary metals. Were they trying to take themselves through the steps, and that's when they were killed by something else? Hard to say. I don't know, just some things to think about. But I've droned on long enough. Let's get into the last part of this, which is really interesting. Because Freddy helps Gwen. Specifically, Freddy gives Gwen Lena's phone number, which is okay. And Gwen calls and asks for help. Just good job, Gwen. Good job. I feel like compared to the last 10 minutes that were a complete like nonsense discussion on alchemy and the transmutation of self, I feel like these last whatever minutes are going to be a lot more easy to parse. I apologize for all those that don't care about the alchemy. I think it is one of the most interesting aspects of Magnus Protocol. The other is this part. So Heinrich and Heimlich, who is still my favorite character, I love him so much, tells Alice about how Colin was learning more about Friedrich, the system, the files, marked Heinrich and Heimlich as the only safe Anzeige in Berlin, and he was very upset about that. I did a lot of digging on this, and Anzeige is a term that does not have a good one-to-one English translation. Feared opponent or feared adversary would be one thing, but the best way that I could find to explain it was, imagine there is, and some of you might have this, someone in your life that no matter what you do, they are always just a little bit better. They are something that you cannot overcome, and they are terrifying in that way. And you are so afraid to be around them. And I assume this word is external, right? It's what the word external represents for the OIAR. Things that are absolutely terrifying and are better than us in almost every way, but also we need their help, you know? Either way, he gets very offended at this. Alice tells him that she's scared of him, and he says, thank you. He then reveals Friedrich is not a name. It's a descriptor. It's a designation. Because Freddy is program number 8. 8 is a really interesting number in alchemy. We have the 7 planetary metals. We have the 14 or the 12 steps. We don't have a lot of 8s, right? We have the 4 of the colors. We don't have, and the 4 of the elements. We don't have a lot of 8s. And so it's an interesting number for it to come up here. Also, the man who made it, his initials are KS. I'm assuming that's Klaus. I don't know if we've seen Klaus's last name, but I'm assuming that's Klaus. And then Heinrich gives Alice an address and insists on going with her because they're friends now, you know? I love him so much. He's the best. I'm really curious what they're going to find at this address, because I don't think they're going to find Klaus. I'm assuming Klaus is dead, right? I know that Lena shot at him and he probably got away, but I'm assuming he's dead. But also, what if they find another Anzeige in there? Because that would be really interesting. I'm not saying that I want to see necessarily 2 externals have a fight in Magnus, but we could. Anyway, I've rambled enough here. I've got to go edit this before I get to go to sleep. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. It's so good to be back. I'm hoping to have the episode for this week, which comes out tomorrow in the morning, recorded Friday and edited and put up by Saturday. That's my hope. And then hopefully after that we can get back into rolling into episodes going up on Thursdays, if at all possible. But thank you so much for your patience. I really needed my break, my time off. The house is not ready yet. Turns out that takes a lot more work than you think it does when you sit down to do it. But we're working on it, and so there will be some more changes with the setup and everything. But eventually we'll get it all sorted out. You know, the baby comes in December, so unless time changes that by moving it up. But, we'll see. Regardless, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, I've been Trey. This has been The Full Spectrum. Remember to always enjoy the full spectrum that Magnus has to offer.